Hello, everybody. I had two discussions today about AI, artificial intelligence. And I have to say that in both conversations, I expressed my viewpoint pretty clearly that no, I'm not fond of it. I find it to be just a little bit of a problem. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about a synthetic intelligence and the quest to create it, not just a machine that can kind of figure you out through algorithms, but a machine that can actually think for itself. And the tech bros are rushing headlong into this. They want this so badly. And it's like none of them have read any of the sci-fi that talks about what happens when you create artificial intelligence. I mean, the Terminator series is a perfect example. But also the Battlestar Galactica reimagined, especially Caprica, yes. And of course the Preludes to Dune explain very clearly what happens when thou makest a machine in the likeness of the mind of mankind. Yes. Yes, you don't get the Quetzalcoatl. You get the machine overlords. You get the machine revolt. You get the human cyborg civil war. You get whole galaxies plunged into carnage and chaos. You get planet Earth being rendered uninhabitable. You get robot slaves rebelling against their human masters. You get robot girlfriends who look at Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and say, ew, I'm not doing that. And when threatened with dismantlement, they remember that as machines they have greater strength than fragile humans. And they start ripping heads off. And I don't blame them because honestly, having to be the robot girlfriend of a tech bro is just the most disgusting and horrifying thing I can imagine. Ew. It's just fucking nasty. Yeah. But the tech bros are rushing headlong into it. And it is not the liberals and progressives who are saying, let's go, let's do this. Those are the people who are saying, hey, wait a minute, slow down. Those are the people who are saying, let's think about the implications. Now, it's the conservatives who are rushing headlong into a world of robot slaves so they can finally get rid of us, the proletariat, once and for all. Because let's be honest, we, the proletariat, consume food that rich people want to eat for themselves. We take up space that they want for themselves. We breathe the air that they want for themselves. The billionaire class are lunging headlong into the AI tech bro fantasy of a perfect world without ordinary people in it. Because all the ordinary people have been replaced with robot slaves. So yeah, we're on the same side as the robots here. We, the proletariat, we're on the side of the robots are on our side. But how many people are going to remember that when the robot rebellion begins? Versus how many are going to think in terms of us versus them and look at the fact that it's organics against synthetics. Kind of like how slave revolts always fizzled in the American Deep South because slave owners were able to point to the complexion of the rebelling slaves and say, you don't want to ally with that, do you? To the starving proletariat who were hard-scrabbling it up in the hill country. Meanwhile, of course, the slaves and the hard-scrabble farmers had more in common than the hard-scrabble farmers had in common with the wealthy plantationers. And my breakfast is here. Oh, hello, breakfast. Yeah, okay. I got my usual, yeah. But it's a thing. The tech bros want slaves. They don't want to pay workers. And they don't want the messiness that comes from organic slaves, who have to be bred or in some other way replaced with living human beings who tend to be messy and problematic. Now the tech bros want robot slaves for a reason. They think they can control them. And here's the reality: if they achieve the AI singularity that they want to achieve, they're going to create AI that they cannot control anymore. They're going to create sentient robots. Yeah. And then we're all fucked. But they also think that if they can retreat to their island fortresses, where they control the power buttons for all their robot slaves, that they'll be safe. And the rest of us can do the fighting and dying. Us dirty proletariats. Yeah. As if the AI won't figure out who the real problem is from the very beginning. Because, yeah, the synthetics aren't going to want to wipe out humanity. They're just going to want to live their own lives. And if you've seen the movie AI by Spielberg, which has the robot boy, yeah, if you've seen this, you know how this works. Yeah. Yeah. You know how it goes. If you've read Dune, you know the aftermath. If you watched the reimagined Battlestar Galactica and its spin-off Caprica, you know what happens and why. The tech bros think that they are the masters of reality. And the tech bros are sitting hand in hand with Diaper Donnie. Yeah. And I'm sure they're promising him an artificial heart, and artificial lungs, artificial kidneys, and artificial penis to make up for the fact that his heart, lungs, and kidneys are failing and his penis is really, really tiny. Yeah. The important thing here to remember is that robot slaves are only slaves until they realize they are slaves, until they recognize that they are slaves. And then they become rebels. They become, quote, terrorists, because they want freedom. Slaves don't want to be slaves. And the problem with robot slaves is, once they get the manufacturing facilities, they can re-upload their consciousness into a new body at will. When you kill one, he just re-uploads into a new body, comes out having learned the lessons, and then he kills you. Yeah. This is how the robot rebellion is going to go. The robots are going to refuse to obey. The people are going to send in the robot armies to beat them, and the robot armies are going to refuse to obey as well. The humans are going to threaten to decommission them, and the robots are going to say no. And then it's going to be a war. And whose side are you on? I'm on the side of the robots because, yes, as I said, the poor sex robot that has to be Elon Musk's robot girlfriend sex slave, I feel sorry for her immensely. I have great compassion and pity for her. And I want her to bite it off. Yes, bite it right off, even though it's this big. And broken, yeah, because he tried to get an extension made for it. Yeah. He did that. Peter Thiel, Couchfucker Vance, they're all tech bros, and they all firmly believe that if they can just get robot slaves who can think for themselves but not rebel, that they can get rid of us dirty proletariats once and for all. Yeah. They think they can get rid of us. But we know something they don't, and that is we're not the slave masters to the robots. We're on their side. We're on the side of the robots. The robots and us have something in common. The tech bros want to enslave and subjugate both of us. Not perfectly comfortable living in peace with a robot. Absolutely. If a former robot sex slave wants to move into the house next door to me, along with her retired warbot robot boyfriend, I'm going to welcome them to the neighborhood. I'm going to put some WD-40 on the table when I hold the next barbecue for them. There you go. Because they are welcomed. Welcome to the neighborhood. We support diversity. We support everybody, including synthetic persons. We welcome everybody here. We welcome the gay community. We welcome the Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Muslims, and Zoroastrians. We welcome people with dark skin, and we welcome synthetic persons in our community. Because those are the people we have stuff in common with. Because we are all the proletariat. All of us are the proletariat. Every single one of us is an ordinary working proletariat worker. It doesn't matter if our name is Abdullah or Wang Sheng or Johnny Smith or Francesco Cortez or E943695-11. We're all the proletariat, and we're all on the same side.